I love chutney. Chutney's amazing. Of course you love chutney. Who doesn't love chutney? Everyone loves chutney. Mum always used to make chutney, so we had jars near the airing cupboard which were full. Whatever was in sort of abundance, you can chutney it and you can save it for the rest of the year. We're gonna go out in the fields, we're gonna find some stuff, and I'm gonna show you how to chutney. Tomato chutney with a load of chilies in. It's pretty spicy. We're on the hunt for things to put in our chutney. I'm thinking, well, green tomatoes. Delicious. Tomatoes need warmth and they need sunlight to ripen fully. So at the end of summer, often this means there's a lot of fruit left on the vines which you can't use. So this recipe, green tomato chutney, is a fantastic way of reducing food waste, stopping them going on the compost bin, and turning them into something which is really delicious and useful to have in the kitchen. There's an absolute glut already of tomatoes growing on the vines. Because it was a bit of a late start, it almost looks like they've put in all their energy in now. And the plant is laden with tomatoes. So let's go and pick some. I reckon that's good to go. It's a nice little haul, isn't it? Let's get back to the kitchen before anyone notices. Picking all the right ones. I love them. I love tomatoes. So when you're making a chutney, when you're thinking about ingredients, just go for it, spend a bit of time, and just think and consider what's going to go well together. So the green tomatoes, when you have a taste, they've really got this sort of sharp, not sweet, sharp side. So you need to balance that with something a bit sweeter. So I've got a load of apples here too, which I'm going to chuck in with them. It almost reminds me of like a tomatillo, which is a classic sort of Mexican salsa-y tomato-like vegetable. So I think that's going to go really well with the same sort of flavour. So I'm gonna chuck in a load of jalapenos and some red pepper. So it's gonna be like a Mexican chutney. Ole! Chutney couldn't be easier. Basically just cook your vegetables, add in vinegar, add in sugar, and let it reduce down until it's like a sweet, sticky mess. Then it's ready. Add loads of flavour, herbs, spices, do what you want. Let's do it. Can't wait. Easy, mate. Most recipes start, turn your stove on. Tick. Olive oil in your pan. Tick. Be generous. You don't want it to stick. If you want to separate the stuff which cooks longer, get that in first. Onions, peppers, chilies. I'm going to soften all of that down. Look at that. I haven't tasted these chilies yet. They're from the polytunnel. I was a bit scared of doing it, so this could be an absolute firecracker of a chutney. But it's all right. If it's really, really spicy, it goes amazing on like a cheese board, and you just have a little bit. And if it's not that spicy, then you can spread it in your sandwiches. You can't lose with chutney. You can only win. Chutneys were originally derived from the Indian subcontinent as a way of preserving, and they used to be very heavily based on preserving fruits and stuff in heavily spiced chutney mixes. So if you think about lime pickle and how fiery and hot that is, and mango chutney, it actually shows you just how versatile chutney can be, and you really can put whatever you want in there. So be creative. Cool, that's nice and soft. I'm gonna get in me green stuff. And I'm also gonna get in some flavourings now too. I'm gonna get some smoked paprika, because originally I wanted to use chipotle paste, which is smoked jalapeno peppers, but I didn't have any. So I put jalapeno peppers in and smoked paprika, and that would do the trick. Fresh oregano is amazing, and it's also strong enough, it's got enough sort of guts that it can handle being cooked and doesn't lose too much of its flavour. So fresh oregano, fantastic. Never really use it that much for some reason in this country. So I've used cider vinegar because it's a bit subtle and it won't overpower the flavours. If you're doing like Christmas chutneys and Christmas jams for people, balsamic is fantastic because it's got that sort of deep, sweet flavour which lends itself really well to certain chutneys. All right, now I'm with sugar. The two most important ingredients, sugar and vinegar. Get it in. All right, and then just keep an eye on it and let that bubble away. So don't put a lid on it because we want it to reduce. So we're gonna bubble it down. It's gonna cook the tomatoes and the apples into the sauce, and the flavors are gonna sort of fuse and mingle. It's gonna be delicious. And then right at the end, when it's just about done, we'll turn it off and get it in our sterilized jars. So this has been like simmering away now for a couple of hours. It's really important you don't do it too quick, because you definitely don't want it to stick and you really don't want it to burn. And you know when a chutney or a pickle is done, is when you scrape your spoon across the bottom, you can see the bottom of the pan and the liquid isn't sort of viscous enough to fill in the gap straight away. So if you see what I'm doing here, see that now there? There's very little liquid left, which means it is perfect. So I'm going to turn off the heat now, let it cool down, because it'll be blisteringly hot because of all of the sugar in there as well. It will be absolutely scalding, so don't touch it. You don't want to let it get completely cold. Get in the jar, it's still got a bit of heat so that when you close it, it sort of seals itself shut. Chutneys need time to sort of sit and mature, so I'm going to leave it for probably about 8 weeks before I taste it, which is going to be hard, but you know, good things come to those who wait, I reckon. Can be a bit messy, so go slow, take your time, get it in. Look at the lovely colours on that. Yeah. Love the look of that. That's delicious, and hopefully I'll forget it's there, and then in a couple of months' time I'll find it again. That's what I hope, and then it'll be a nice treat. So there you have it, green tomato chutney. Now remember, be creative, put whatever sort of flavourings you want in it, and let us know what you come up with. If there's any other vegetable you'd like to see us talk about, cook, or prepare, then write us a comment and get in touch. So remember, if you like this, hit like, hit subscribe, hit the notification bell to stay tuned for more weekly veg hacks.